Today, I'm finally facing that fear that every CS grad has, LeetCode. Maybe you're like me, another insecure programmer who always doubts himself when it's time to code. And deep down, we know the stuff, we know what to do. It's just that right in the moment when we touch those keys, everything turns blank. So yeah, programming in itself it's a little bit of pressure, you know, you always feel under pressure whenever you need to do something regarding programming, especially during interviews, exams, or projects. LeetCode was built exactly for that, to prepare you to better handle the interview process, situations, projects, even just to practice in itself, for you to improve your skills. I thought, yeah, I just graduated, let me use this famous program called LeetCode in front of camera. What could go wrong? So yeah, since I don't have any more the pressure of uni, I'm just gonna take it at my own pace, just do it for fun, for once, you know. Who at once had fun when programming under pressure? No one said ever. Come along with me and see how we do for our first time. Let's go. LeetCode, a new way to learn. LeetCode is the best LeetCode is the best platform to help you enhance your skills, expand your knowledge. Buggy there, LeetCode, buggy there. And prepare for technical interviews. Amazing. Start exploring. Questions and community and contests, companies and candidates, developer. Let's just create an account. And I'm gonna fast forward this because I don't want you to steal my information, hackers. Welcome to LeetCode. Hi LeetCoder, what brought you here? What if it's both? I can do both. Great. Next. Which option best describes your coding skill? Beginner. Hello LeetCoder. Intermediate. Trees. Advanced. Okay, this is like, I forgot the name. I swear I graduated. An expert. Honestly, the logical thing here will be to put intermediate. Like you can already tell, I'm not that confident, but I'm gonna choose intermediate. Let's go safe, let's go boring. Choose the topics you're interested most. App development is my current like number one most strong topic that I feel comfortable with. I'm gonna choose app development just because that's what I know best right now. I'm interested in TypeScript. Machine learning would be kind of nice. Data structure and algorithms obviously is very important. Do I want to do that right now? Not really. Honestly, React and system design. I'm not gonna choose database because I feel pretty comfortable with SQL. Honestly, I'm gonna do a cringy moment here for you experts. I am one of those cringier programmers who calls it SQL, not SQL. I know that's like taboo for you guys, but you know what? I don't care. I like calling it SQL. It sounds fun. If you're a fellow SQL programmer, hit like or comment down below. And if you're not, you can yell at me. We're just gonna choose those for now. Start your LeetCode journey now. Top interview 150, LeetCode 75, SQL 50. I'm gonna do the top interview 150 because it's a must-do list. Okay, immediately right off the bat, it looks like a social media. This is actually quite cool. People just writing their experience in interviews with famous companies. Overall interviews as a whole. That's actually quite cool. I'm giving some tips. Find users without high token usage. That's actually quite cool for my mobile app that I'm developing. Right off the bat, I'm liking it. It's like a social media right off the bat first, where you can see some topics that user posts. Why didn't I look at it before? I'm a bad student. I'm a bad programmer, I know. But let's go and do the dirty work. Feature, data structure and algorithms. System design, beginner's guide. That's cool. Top interview questions, dynamic programming, arrays, 101, Google interview, SQL language, graph, heap, recursion, machine learning 101. That I kind of want to learn about that. Okay, interview, sheets. Okay, so it's like divided in certain topics. This is the feature. I'm guessing the most commonly used like courses, the interview courses, the learns. I want to explore LeetCode from the very beginning for people who are also like me who have never used LeetCode. Let's just get right into it. Let's start with the LeetCode beginner's guide and hope you follow along. Let's go. The LeetCode Beginner's Guide. Welcome to the LeetCode Beginner's Guide. This guide is intended for new users of all experience levels and will help you become familiar with the LeetCode platform. This is actually perfect for me. On LeetCode, you can use tutorials and study plans to learn fundamental and advanced data structures and algorithms. Compete in contests, use guides to prepare for top companies, exercise your problem-solving skills by solving real interview questions. I love that introduction. So, solving your first problem. So here they gave us like a walkthrough video of how to solve problems on LeetCode in itself. I'm gonna watch the video. You can watch it on your own for time's sake, and then I'll give you a little brief of what the video explained. I'll be back. Okay, so that video was actually very helpful, and the left hand side is the problem where you can have the instructions and the constraints of it, and then on the right hand side you have the editor in itself, in which you can choose the programming language that you want to use in order to solve that problem. The problem in itself already has some test cases, so when you run the code, it goes through the test cases and validates if it's correct or not, shows you where it went wrong. It can even tell you the differences of the correct answer expected to your answer. You can even put additional test cases in order to test it as well. Let's see here, you are now equipped to solve your first LeetCode problem. We encourage you to try solving add to integers and then return here. So let's do that. We click on the link there that is provided, and this is the add to integers problem, which is the same problem that they showed on the video. First variable is 12, the second variable is 5, and the output of the sum of the two should be 17. And the constraints here are that the number cannot be equal or lower to -100 or greater equal than 100. It even asks you if you've seen this question in a real interview before, which is actually kind of nice because it can help other programmers to prepare for these kinds of problems or other ones for interviews. And here you can see the accepted ones and the acceptance rate of these kinds of problem, and it even has a discussion here for people to comment. Let's just get started. Okay, so here the default one is C++. Let's just do it in C++, why not? So here they already basically created the class and the public part of the code. Here we have the function in sum, which takes two input variables, which are integers, in num1 and num2. Basically all we need to do is return the sum of these two variables. So we can do it as simple as return num1 plus num2, and following the C++ syntax of the colon. Okay, so now we should be able to run the code and it should pass. Great, it was accepted. A pretty straightforward problem. Basically, we create a function called sum, which takes two integers, like I said. We return the sum of those variables, and the test subject here was 12 and 5, and the output was 17, and the expected was 17. And you can see runtime 0 milliseconds, beats 100%. Okay, in terms of memory, it looks like I got 36%. As you can see here, it gives a good metric on how many percentages of the people created solutions regarding of the memory use. So here we have some people who used 30 megabytes of memory, to 8 like I did, to 7.9, to even 7.7. Pretty easy problem. As you can see, it gives you a lot of data regarding the percentages of the usage of memory, which is actually great and sometimes overlooked from us programmers, especially beginner ones, because we just want to create code, it runs well, and we move on. But actually handling memory in itself is great in order for our programs to run well and efficient. So that's actually great from LeetCode. 10 out of 10 for now. No complaints here regarding my solution. I think that's super cool. I think this is what the initial page when we started LeetCode was about. When you finish a problem and post it, that's actually amazing. It gives a lot of insight for new programmers or programmers who want to learn something new or improve in a certain topic. 3, visualize your discussion posts and official solution articles. This next video, again, I'm gonna watch it first and explain to you a little bit of what was talked about. But it's basically showing you how to solve 3 problems here in LeetCode, which is, I'm guessing, pretty common. So I'm gonna watch that real quick, get back to you in 2 minutes. Okay, so yeah, it basically tells you that in these specific types of node problems and tree problems, it gives you like a predefined node class with some instances in order to solve the node problem, so that you can focus more on the actual algorithm and logic behind the process of binary tree node problem in itself. We have a root equals sum of children. So basically the children are here the other nodes behind the main one. You are given the root of a binary tree that consists of exactly 3 nodes. The root, its left child and its right child. Return true if the value of the root is equal to the sum of the values of its 2 children. So basically the sum of the children should equal the value of the root. So if the root is 10, the sum of 4 and 6 should equal 10. Pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, so here we have the struct tree node. It has a value integer, 2 left child instance and a right child instance with some pointers. So we have the class solution and we have a boolean function. So we have the check tree and it accepts a tree node pointer of root. Okay, so my first initial thought after thinking a little bit, I'm guessing I'm gonna do an if else statement in order to validate whether it's true or not. So if root is equal to the sum of left plus right, return true, and else return false. That's my main initial logic. Let's see if it runs well. I'm a little bit rusty. I just went and thought that I could just do the sum validation there in the if statement. So let's just create a variable. Let's create a int. I mean, we already have val. Is the val supposed to be the total of the sum? Okay, let's say val equal to the sum of left and right. Let's see if that was the intention of the variable integer there. And then if root equals val, let's see. Okay, no. I'm sorry guys, I'm rusty. I said, please don't judge me. So base off here, the input is basically an array. So I'm guessing that we have to then loop through the array. Let's see, for I equals 0. Oh my god, I'm doing so badly. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble. I'm very rusty on this topic. Let's go to our chatty friend. Can help us find a solution. Okay, I'm using LeetCode for the first time. I'm in a problem in order to find the sum of two child nodes of the root number. I cringe. Okay, so I definitely forgot everything about this. This is real-time code correction, ladies and gentlemen, even on the simplest of problems. So I just did everything badly, basically. I knew there were pointers. I just forgot how to work with pointers. I wasn't all far off in the beginning. I was just forgetting the actual method of how to do it. So yeah, in total here says root left val plus root right val. If root val equals total, return true, else return false. I'm guessing now it is correct. No! Oh my god. Semicolons. We did it! Thanks to chat. I'm glad it happened because it shows that for every programmer that maybe just gets lost in this type on even the simplest of problems, it's okay. You know, you're not perfect. And yeah, you definitely should improve if you want to get recruited to a top company and do this like for second nature. But for people who are like me right now, search and try it. Like right now, okay, now I remembered how to work with pointers. It shouldn't discourage you in programming just because if you did it the wrong way or you just don't know it straight up. So the fact that I could just look it up, have the solution at hand, and understand why I was wrong, this is a perfect use case. ChatGPT, you can love it or hate it, but at the end of the day, it's a tool. Thanks to Chat, we understood why I was way wrong, and we found the solution finally. And it accepted case 1 and accepted case 2, which is great. And we're gonna click submit, and you can see runtime 0 milliseconds. We got 100% on that, and in terms of memory, we got 15 megabytes of memory. I'm on the 35% of people whose solutions use 50 megabytes of memory, and the lowest people under 1% got 14.8. So that's something that we can definitely improve on the future. We learn from it, we move on. We already solved the first part, which was the solving your first problem. Now let's do challenge problems. So they give us a list here of some common problems, I'm assuming, to solve on your own. This chapter is intended for beginners and will help you get your feet wet and become comfortable with the problem solving process on LeetCode. So let's go through our first beginner challenge problem. 1480, running sum of 1D array. This problem teaches us how to build a prefix sum array, which is a valuable tool that in the future you can use to solve more complex problems efficiently. We encourage you to try solving 1480 on your own first, then return here to watch the video solution. So basically, they give you the link to try and do it yourself first, and then if you're stuck, then they show it to you. So let's do what they say and let's try it first ourselves. Given an array nums, we define a running sum of an array. Running sum I equals sum num0 until nums I. Yeah, returning the running sum of nums. Okay, so basically the sum gets accumulated by each iteration of the array. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10. So let's see, we have a vector int function running sum. We already have a nums variable, which they say is our array. So basically we want to iterate every part of the array so that every iteration gets keep adding and adding in itself until the array finishes. So basically we have to create the for loop that I mentioned. So let's create a variable int I, and let's create the for loop. So we have I equals 0, I minus equal to the size of the array, I plus plus. Here is our for loop. I think this is correct for now. Let's see. So we have int I, so we can create an int total. So int total will be I plus I. To be honest, whenever I worked on these types of solutions with arrays and whatnot, I don't remember ever using vector int. So I'm just kind of trying to find the logic behind it. So of course, since I haven't used it, the logical thing to do will be just to search on what it means. Now let's search again. Oh, okay, so the vector means that no matter what, it could increase the size of the array that's needed. Okay, I found the error. So right now I have vector int total equals nums I plus plus, and I return it the total. But we don't want to return the total, we want to return nums itself with the sums. So I'm guessing that's where the error lies. So instead of creating a variable, I'm just gonna do return nums I plus plus, since in theory it should return the nums array with the sums applied. No. Okay, let's see again. We're learning. We are learning. Okay, so basically I'm doing something very bad, which is returning on the same for loop. Okay, I overthought it a little bit, but we were almost there, and here as well. And here we should not return inside the loop, and here we add the plus equals in order to keep adding the i's inside the array, but it's not I plus plus, it's I minus 1 in order to iterate through all of them. Then we return nums. Let's see if chat was correct. And indeed it was. I tried my best on the logic and how to work around it. It's just that refining those touches in order to first solve the problem, but also make it efficiently and that you understand it. It's just not copy and paste it. So we enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and it returned 1 through 6, 10. So yeah, we did it, and I learned from it as well. We don't always have to pretend that we know it all. I gotta say, my experience as of now, I really like it, and I can immediately tell how it can definitely turn me into a better programmer. Just between two very simple problems, I can really tell that I'm not prepared. Honestly, I'm learning more from it just by doing these kinds of problems, and basically just how to become better. So we did the first challenge. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 challenges. I'm not gonna do them all on camera today, but you can do them of your own when you go to the module itself. So in order to continue with the module, we're gonna do where to start part now. Let's see what it tells us. Okay, so basically this where to start guide tells us a pretty broad recommendation from LeetCode itself, but a pretty good one though, because not every programmer is the same. They're not gonna tackle the same problems or same languages. And obviously regarding on the language you are most proficient on, then you should obviously tackle those types of problems in the programming language that you feel most comfortable on. So the beginner track, I like this part that they divided on the skill level. It's basically a great way to accompany something like learning JavaScript whilst you follow the official documentation, maybe use some other portals like Code Academy, stuff like that. This is just another layer to learning something. So yeah, they help you learn, but they help you learn by making mistakes and doing problems, not by following a certain guide or documentation like you normally would when learning a new language. That once you feel confident in your coding abilities and in the language of your choice, then is when you can start doing the other track, in which we're gonna touch on now, Explore Card track. Okay, so here we have a very great layout on how this Explore Card track actually looks. So we start with the Arrays 101, Then we follow on recursion 1 and array and string. This is actually great because it touches, in my opinion, the most talked about fundamentals of what programming actually is in the real world and how to basically explore each area accordingly. Basically, they say go through a tutorial and then try to solve them. Just learn at your rhythm without any pressure, without any time constraints. Okay, so that's the beginner track. They also have an intermediate track. This is basically the track that you're gonna go if you're already familiar with all of the topics covered on the explore card track. If you want a more harder challenge specifically and you already know all of this, LeetCode recommends exploring the intermediate track. So yeah, this is basically a more advanced track to explore on. So for you who are way more proficient than I am, then we go on to the fast track. Last but not least, if your interview is coming up very soon and you don't have a lot of time to study, then you're in the right place. The fast track will be great for you in order to prepare for the actual interviews and those kinds of problems in itself, because you don't have to waste any more time on preparing on stuff that you already know. It just focuses on problems regarding the position that you want to actually apply. So they provide this track specifically for that. You basically don't want to waste your time in stuff that you may already know and want to focus on mastering that interview process and be as comfortable as you can be. And finally, we have some general advice. Regardless of what level you are at, consistency is the key to learning new skills and preventing existing skills from getting rusty. It's never too early to start any of these. Success on the first try isn't the key. The most important thing is progress over time. It's not always visible overnight or even over weeks, but if you consistently try the daily coding challenge, compete in contests, go through the explore cards, and solve practice problems related to the topic you just learned, over time, you will succeed. Basically, the final suggestion they make is to stay motivated, don't put too much pressure on yourself, and make it fun. At the end of the day, you want to improve, and also pick a goal, because by setting a goal, you basically have something to look forward to in order to keep improving day by day. And basically, they end on how one can contribute by giving good example problems, creating a study guide, sharing interview questions, experience or compensation, reporting any kind of issue, checking the general discussion. Basically, this is just the way for people to actually contribute into LeetCode to help others. I will be the ones checking those kinds of guidelines made from you lovely individuals and professionals who help us in every way you can. So thank you so much for that. And finally, the closing comments of this module. Congratulations on completing your first Leet book. By now, you likely have an idea of where to begin and how to solve problems on LeetCode. We encourage you to explore LeetCode on your own and check out some of the features shown below that we have to offer. So here, they give us an overview of some sort of modules that they suggest after doing the LeetCode module intro. Finally, they have some frequently asked questions. Should I get LeetCode Premium? I actually looked at the stuff they have for the premium and they look very appetizing, and also they unlock most of the problems because most of them are locked. So yeah, that was basically the LeetCode beginner's guide and my first ever time using LeetCode, even though I'm a CS graduate. I honestly regret not even looking up LeetCode during my uni years, because I don't know if it's because I'm doing it for fun, for passion, and for learning without any pressure in itself, but I actually like it and I'm kind of motivated to use it honestly every day. I know it's easy to say right now. To be honest, I've never felt this much motivation in programming now since I've used LeetCode and also since I graduated. If you were like me, scared of LeetCode from the very beginning, I honestly think and encourage you to use it because it will make you learn faster, have more fun with it. LeetCode itself encourages you to make errors and learn from them. So yeah, this was basically my first time and I kind of like it. So yeah, this was basically it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to continue this journey of failure in computer science with me. Leave a like and comment down below if you've already used LeetCode, or if you haven't, have any tips for me, comment down below. I will definitely check it out. If you want to see my story as a recent CS graduate and why I started making these videos and my feelings regarding the whole thing and the whole field, check out my last video up here in the link up top or down below. Keep following along for these kinds of videos on my journey, and I'll see you next time. Peace.